Preschool story time. We're not at the library, but I hope you join us at home. Today, we're going to start off with my favorite song. Hold on, let me get my backup singers. Hold on.
Everybody sit down. Now stand up again. And turn around.
Make sure we can hear it. Here we go.
You can keep standing up.
Here we go. Let's go.
But not for long. 'Cause this is the sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down song. Good.
Here we go.
Now stand up if you're 5 years old. And sit back down again. Stand up if you're 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
Then sit back down with your friends. Stand up if you're 4 or 3.
Oh, stand up. Stand up.
Stand up if you're 8, 9, or 10.
Woohoo!
Now everybody sit back down. We'll do it once again. Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. Now stand up again. And turn around. You can keep standing up, but not for long.
Here we go. Are you ready?
'Cause this is the sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down song.
Woo!
Stand up if you have a sister.
Sister, who has a sister?
Now sit back down again.
Okay, sit down.
Stand up if you have a brother.
I have a brother. I'm standing up.
Now sit back down with your friends.
Sit down.
Stand up if you have a dog at home.
I have a dog at home.
Stand up if you have a cat.
Cat? Meow.
Now everybody sit back down. This time we'll do it fast. Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. Now stand up again. And turn around. You can keep standing up, but not for long. 'Cause this is the sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down song. Now stand up if you like music.
Music? Stand up.
And sit back down with your friends. Stand up if you like sports.
I like sports.
Then sit back down
Sit down with
again.
friends.
Stand up just if you feel like it. You don't even have to ask. Now everybody sit back down. This time we're gonna do
Fast,
it
here we go.
very
Ready?
fast. Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. Now stand up again. And turn around. You can keep standing up, but not for long. 'Cause this is the sit down, stand up, 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 sit down, 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 sit down song.
Woo! We need a breather after that. For today's story time, we're going to talk all about Pete the Cat. So we're going to start with the first book, Pete the Cat and His Magic Sunglasses. Pete the Cat did not feel happy. Pete had never, ever been grumpy before. Pete had the blue cat blues. Then, as if things were not bad enough, along came Grumpy Toad. Grumpy Toad was never happy. He always wore a frown. But Grumpy Toad was not grumpy today. He said, "These cool blue magic sunglasses make the blues go away. They help you see things in a whole new way." Pete put on the cool blue magic sunglasses and he looked all around. Right on. The birds were singing, the sky is bright, the sun is shining, I'm feeling all right. Pete thanked Grumpy Toad for the cool blue magic sunglasses. He went on his way and soon he saw Squirrel. Squirrel did not look happy. Pete said, What's wrong, Squirrel?" "I'm mad. Nothing is going my way. I only found one acorn today." Pete said, "Try these cool blue magic sunglasses. They help you see things in a whole new way." Squirrel put on the cool blue magic sunglasses and looked around. Awesome! The birds are singing, the sky is bright, the sun is shining, and I'm feeling all right. Pete said goodbye to Squirrel and continued on his way. Soon he saw his friend Turtle. Turtle did not look happy. "What's wrong, Turtle?" Pete asked. "I'm so frustrated. Nothing is going my way. I'm all upside down today." Pete said, "Try these cool blue magic sunglasses. They help you see things in a whole new way." Turtle put on the cool blue magic sunglasses and looked around. Far out! The birds are singing, the sky is bright, the sun is shining, and I'm feeling all right. Pete kept rolling along until he saw Alligator. Alligator did not look happy. "What's wrong, Alligator?" Pete asked. "I'm so sad. Nothing is going my way. No one wants to play with me today." Pete said, "Try these cool blue magic sunglasses. They help you see things in a whole new way." Alligator put on the cool blue magic sunglasses and looked around. Rockin'! The birds are singing, the sky is bright, the sun is shining, I'm feeling all right. Pete was rolling along and feeling all right. Then suddenly he fell back. The cool blue magic sunglasses went crack. "Oh no!" Pete didn't know what to do without those sunglasses. Just then Pete looked up at the tree. Wise old owl said, "Pete, you don't need magic sunglasses to see things in a new way. Just remember to look for the good in every day." Pete looked around without his sunglasses. Too cool! The birds were singing, the sky is bright, the sun is shining, we're feeling all right.
For the next story, Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons.
Pete the cat put on his favorite shirt with 4 big colorful round groovy buttons. He loved his buttons so much he sang this song. My 4 groovy buttons. My 4 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no! One of the buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 3. 4 minus 1 equals 3. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My 3 groovy buttons. My 3 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 2. 3 minus 1 equals 2. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My 2 groovy buttons. My 2 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 1. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My button, my 1 groovy button. My 1 groovy button. Pop! Oh no! The last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? Zero. 1 minus 1 equals 0. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt, and what do you think he saw? His belly button! And he kept on singing his song. My button, still have my belly button. My button, still have my belly button. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness, no. We keep on singing. Buttons come and buttons go.
For the next story, it's Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues.
Pete and the gang had a great day. They'd been at the beach, surfing sun, and tons of fun. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. Pete had an idea. Hey, how about a sleepover? More time for tons of fun. Groovy! Pete's place, let's go! The party was far out, but they knew they couldn't stay up all night. The gang decided it was time to say goodnight. On went the pajamas and out went the lights. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete was just about to catch some Z's when clap, 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 clap. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Grumpy Toad. I don't want to go to sleep. I want to clap instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Time to sleep. Pete tried again to get some Z's when rat-a-tat-tat. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Gus the platypus. I don't want to go to bed. I want to jam instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. It's time to sleep. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete closed his eyes to catch some Z's when he heard munch, 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 munch. Pete had a hunch. It was Alligator. He was always up eating. What could Pete do? All the clapping and the rat-a-tatting and the munching was giving him bedtime blues. Pete had a groovy idea. He got out his favorite bedtime story and started to read, first to himself and then to the gang. Pete noticed it was finally quiet. No more clapping, no more rat-a-tatting, no more munching. They all settled down and no one made a sound. Pete yawned and turned off the light. Good night, sleep tight. Time to catch some Z's. Tomorrow was another day for surfing, sun, and tons of fun.
And for the final story, of course, it's about Pete the Cat, and I love my white shoes.
Pete the cat was walking down the street in his brand new white shoes. Pete loved his white shoes so much he sang this song. I love my white shoes, I love my white shoes, I love my white shoes. Oh no, Pete stepped in a large pile of strawberries. What color did it turn his shoes? Red! Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He kept walking along and singing his song. I love my red shoes. I love my red shoes. I love my red shoes. Oh no! Pete stepped in a large pile of blueberries. What color did it turn his shoes? Blue! Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He kept walking along and singing his song. I love my blue shoes. I love my blue shoes. I love my blue shoes. Oh no! Pete stepped in a large puddle of mud. What color did it turn his shoes? Brown. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He kept walking along and singing his song. I love my brown shoes. I love my brown shoes. I love my brown shoes. Oh no! Pete stepped in a bucket of water, and all the brown and all the blue and all the red was washed away. What color were his shoes again? White. But now they were wet. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He kept walking along and singing his song. I love my wet shoes. I love my wet shoes. I love my wet shoes. The moral of Pete's story is, no matter what you step in, keep walking along and singing your song. Because it's all good.
For today's craft for story time, we talked about Pete the cat and his white sneakers. So we're going to make some sneakers from this template, and it'll teach lacing as well as your right and your left side. So I cut the sneakers out and put them on some cardboard. It could be an old cereal box. And we're going to color your sneakers because we need some colorful sneakers. And I'm going to make mine tie-dye looking. Why not? So we have the right side done. Let's work on the left side. Okay, now you have both sneakers colored, whatever color you'd like. We need some laces. So I have some yarn. Some scissors for cutting your yarn. And then you want to lace your shoes so you can practice tying your shoes. You just want to make sure that your yarn ends on the top of your sneaker. Okay, so now I have my shoe laced, so now you can practice tying your shoes. Make a loop, go around the rabbit ear and through the hole, pull them tight. Now you have yourself a pair of sneakers.